will join in and try to get that number 2 position, maybe even number 1 if somehow Carl Jr. falters, though, as unlikely as that is. Tubes is back as well. He was 6th last year. Nats is back. He was 7th. Talibird, sadly, no redemption for her as she's not participating. A lot of good players are here as well from South America. Asmanero for Brazil is here. You have Manox as well, who really participated highly. Radioxo for Brazil, also playing really, really well. Placing well in the seeding, but seeding doesn't mean that much when a lot of the players just didn't seed too well. Carl Jr. did seed first, but a lot of really good players seeded a lot lower than him.
Yes, I would agree with that. That's the reason for the first round we're going for number C. It has a few of some incredible players such as Fegley, Yuma, Ski Freak, we've got Sophie, we've got Takeo, Waco, Say892. We have some big names here, Gelb as well. The list goes on for this. I really think that, match C, a lot of things could change, a lot of things could happen. It has a lot of the middle of the pack players, so we should see some good fights in this one.
Definitely, and speaking of good players, well, we've got plenty of them here. We have the Venezuelan I'm Charles playing, as well as the Brazilian Asmanero. Pope Francis will be the only Canadian, I do believe, in this server. No, he'll be joined with B Rent and Waco. Those are the only 2 Canadians as well that will be joining Pope Francis. Pope Francis being the manager of Team Canada. And he's done a really good job bringing all the Canadians together. Even Carl Jr. is joined into there, so that is... You can say what you want about NA, right? But bring everyone together as Pope Francis has for Canada has been massive for Trackmania late into 2021 and early into 2022. We are also going to get players who are still not here just yet. We have Yuma and Fegley that will be joining in. Top 4 players from last year in this server. Ski Freak is going to be here, one of the most well-known NA players, right, who isn't in TMGLC or TMGLO, right? Ski Freak making a lot of really good maps. Most people know Ski Freak for his maps.
Yes, I would agree with that. Now, Quantum, I wanted to bring up a statistic I found online, something about America having some of the biggest growth it's ever seen for the game in the last year. Do you think this could affect how many players here and, the type of quality we're going to get from this Trackmania American Open compared to the other one?
I think, honestly, last year we had a lot of players who didn't exactly know what was going to happen. This year, everyone knows the drill. Everyone saw what happened last year, and if they didn't, they definitely should, because that was one hell of a tournament. I will say that this year it's going to be a lot more competitive, a lot better times, a lot closer rounds, and there's going to be a lot more upsets, I think, as well. Because these players are going to be coming prepared, right? Carl Jr., he's got world record practically on every single map from what I could tell, which, I mean, is a good thing, but it's pretty hard, right? Oh yeah, the only world record he doesn't have is on playback, which is Tankrom who has it currently. Tankrom is a name that we've not seen last year. Another Canadian who's joined in, who might do some upset. Uchimas didn't do too well last year. I do believe he got out in top 12. He's in 4th, seated in 4th right now. He could get himself top 8 or even better. So a lot of new faces that could honestly really upset a lot of people. Tubes might fall down the order. Stokine will probably go up because he's joining in this time. The Brazilian Radioxo, which, as I said earlier, I've never heard of this name before, but he's placed himself 8th in the seeding, so he might be really someone to look out for.
Yes, now everybody, we have about 5 to 4 minutes left until we actually start the Trackmania American Open. So everybody, if you haven't had your toilet break, if you haven't had your time to, take a little relax, get your food or get anything you need, this is the time to do it, because you do not want to miss the Trackmania American Open. The first round, everybody's going to have the nerves. Everybody's, going to try and come out swinging. We're going to see some fast times, hopefully, here.
Definitely will. I do want to read something in the background. We tried to make another intro. Sadly, that did not come through, so no intro video this time around, but I still have the script here, and I do want to read a part of it because I actually thought that it was quite nice. And listen here, right? The king of Trackmania wants to keep his crown, right? Carl Jr. is here to retain first place and to make sure that everyone knows his name, right? Everyone's gonna know Carl Jr. by the end of tomorrow, right? If you don't know who Carl Jr. is, you will by tomorrow.
Now, Quantum, I have a question. Do you think he will drop a match or drop any points this time? Or do you think he's going to try and keep going first, and just first? Do you think he's going to, show a statement to this saying, I don't care how many new players have come into this game. I don't care the people to try and beat me. I'm Carl Jr. I've won World Cups. I've won basically everything. And I'm going to prove to you that I still am the best. And no one's ever going to beat me.
Listen. He got snubbed out of Best Player of the Year, right? Recency bias got him snubbed of Best Player of the Year. I will say one thing, that he, last year, did not practice any of the maps, right? He came in cold and was learning the maps on the fly.
I still can't believe that. I still never believe that.
And by the end of the tournament, had world record on every map, despite not training the maps whatsoever. This year, he trained the maps. He already has world record on every map, except for one. So, yeah, I don't think he's going to drop anything this year. This is going to be really tough.
Quantum, I'm ready. I'm ready to see the domination from this man. I want to see the difference between Carl Jr. and the rest of these players. I want to see if these players can actually catch up to this man and be like, no, you are still human. You're not a robot. You're nothing special. I am here to prove to you that I can actually keep up. Because if they do well here, a no-name, if you beat Carl Jr. here as a no-name, you are going to become massive in the community. A lot of people are going to be like, hey, who's that random guy in the Trackmania Open that beat Carl Jr.? It'd be a big thing for these players.
Tankrom, Fegli, Uchimas, Remark, Yuma, Tubes, all these players, I would say, have a good chance at taking down Carl Jr. It's now all just a matter of time to see who will win it all. I mean, Carl Jr. wants to retain that crown, but other players do want to take it away. A bird got her wings clipped last time. Sadly, she's not here for redemption, though. Talibird, we do need to talk about her, despite the fact that she's not participating. That was the biggest clip of TSS last year. The biggest clip that was shared all around, uploaded by other content creators, known by practically everyone. This is like the clip that people knew me from, despite the fact that it's not a tournament that the Europeans watched. They watched the clip.
Hey, what can we say, Quantum? You have the voice, you have it, and Talibird had the bonk. It was the perfect combination of what we needed. Anyway, as we start, getting ready, having a couple minutes left until we get started, do you want to explain how the format works and how the whole entire show will be run?
So the entire show will be run as such. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a very, very long day for you here today. Let me just do a bit here, that way I could see this a little bit better. So we have the round of 64, which is where we are currently. We will be playing in 16 versus 16, pretty much 16 players versus each other. The top 8 will make it through to the round of 32, and then from those 8 we will have matches of 4, the upper bracket quarterfinals and the lower bracket quarterfinals, the upper bracket semifinals and the lower bracket semifinals as well. All of these will be played today. So that means by tomorrow, we will have a top 8, right? So by the end of today, we're already getting our top 8. So we're going to go down from 64 players down to 8. Today is a big, big, big day for TAO, and for anyone here who wants to show up and shut up our voices, this is how you do it.
I couldn't agree more. Now, all the players, we have a minute until we begin, everyone. Everybody's just having a quick warm-up, testing out the map. The first map we will be on is Demos. It's a beautiful transitional map, which is the whole entire thing with this campaign. You have a very, textile / grass / everything here. It's really to prove that the player can do everything here. If you're good at transitional and every type of surface, you can see it here. There's even a few ice parts, not on this map specifically, but on definitely this campaign.
Now, it is written differently, but do you know what Deimos is, or who Deimos is?
No, I do not. Please explain.
So Deimos, written this way, it is still the same as a Deimos, D-E-I-M-O-S in English, as one of the moons of Mars. Yes, Deimos the God of Death. So this is the map of the God of Death and one of the moons of Mars. As the matches does get underway here, remember, top 8 will win. We have a total of 25 rounds ahead of us, 5 maps, 5 rounds on each map. Fegli, Yuma, Pope Francis, Say829, Wakeyo, I'm Charles, Asmonero, and plenty of others are here to play to get into top 32 as the match is now underway.
Oh, I shall take the first match as we start. Oh, it's been a while. As we start off, we have a person who seems to be straight in the front. If I quickly take a look now. Give me a second. We have Say896 in the corner, getting ready to go past. We have the dirt turn. We have 2 people right in the front. It seems like it's a clean and cut first quarter, as we have people. Quantum, take it real quick.
Fegli is in lead with Charles in fourth, with Francis in third, and that's really good for Canada. Francis being in third. So Pope Francis, once again, the manager for Team Canada, brought every Canadian together, really hyped up the Canadian scene in the last few months' time, bringing them to TSCC, TSCS, bringing them to CPS as well. There's a lot of different events that Canada has been in recently that do really show up because of Pope Francis. He's really brought everyone together, from me wanting to have a Team Canada in TSCC to Pope Francis making that vision not just a reality, but making it even bigger. It's great to see that he's starting off very, very well so far. As right now we see at the front, we see a big bunch of players. Charles is fighting with Yuma and Fegli for the lead. It's a 3-way fight. It's a big fight. Wakyo, Say, and Rent are fighting for 4th, 5th, and 6th. But right now, the fight at the front is a lot more interesting as Fegli wins it out. Yuma gets 2nd. Charles gets 3rd. B-Rent gets 4th. Say gets 5th. Pope Francis crashes the finish. Will not finish then, as Monero will get 6th. Santa Turtle gets 7th. And Jelby gets 8th.
Now, guys, I shall explain what happened. There's a thing called names. I needed them on the screen to be able to cast properly. I do apologize. I will get back into it now. As we start off, we have Fegli and Yuma in the lead right now, with Charles barely behind. They turn the dirt corner into a nice drift. It seems like Charles and Fegli are fighting for first place right now, as you have Yuma coming up on the sideline, but it looks like Charles and Fegli are fighting for first place. Fegli goes for the inner line, which seems to be working out, but Charles has a little bit more speed on the outside. Both do a beautiful water jump as Fegli takes an outside line. Does it give him more speed? Barely, as he just overtakes Charles. As it goes into the next corner, Charles is taken off, but Yuma out of nowhere has incredible speed, and it's a 3 fight for the first. Fegli seems to be slightly out of the race, but a beautiful turn on the grass as he gets into first place. Yuma is still fighting him. It seems to be a 1-on-1 right now for the final place. As they jump into the end, Yuma wins, Fegli 2nd, Charles 3rd, Pope Francis 4th, and Say 5th.
And that's pretty incredible, right? Out of the Venezuelan. I was not expecting this. This seeding did not say that much about him. And I've never seen Charles before, but I'm Charles has been showing up, and I mean, he's really practiced this on Deimos at least, right? He's showing up that he's fast enough to keep up with Yuma and Fegli. So that's not bad at all. Getting 3rd place back-to-back rounds is says a lot about this man.
Yes, I would agree. Quickly take this as I need to sort out a few technical difficulties.
Of course, you are the player who everyone sees after all, as Fegli is in the lead. Charles is in 2nd. Behind them, Yuma and Wake fighting for 3rd position. Pope Francis will overtake Wakeyo really quickly. There's a big dogfight for the podium position as Yuma starts to run away from that pack. Fegli is running away from Charles, and Charles, he's running away from Yuma, but Yuma has more speed into the finish. Yuma's past him. In fact, Charles has crashed. He won't be able to finish, I think. Oh, he's barely got enough time. Can he do it? Can he get points? That's gonna be yes! Barely for Charles. He gets points. 10 points to his name, but it was so close that he didn't, as Yuma gets 2nd. Fegli got 1st there. That was so close for Charles.
Beautiful round. Apologies for the game sound. Everything should be fixed now. I hope everything should be fixed as we get into the next round. We have Yuma and Fegley fighting for first place as usual with Charles near them. We're starting to see the few players who consistently are near the top right now. It seems like Fegley, Yuma and Charles are the three ones to watch, with Pope near behind them. Fegley and Yuma are fighting for first place now as they go past the first corner. As we go on to the next thing, Fegley and Yuma are still fighting with Azmanero, trying to get a few points in the back right now. Fegley and Yuma are still going into the absolute battle for this first place as they go into the last grass turn. They get the turn, they go to the next one, and what's happening? It's looking like it's just clean from Fegley, looking like the speed is there for him as Say is trying to snipe third place, and he does, with Charles in fourth, Azamiro in fifth.
That's amazing. I do want to remind people that this is not the only stream where you could see the POVs. Players are streaming all over the place. You could go watch Carl Jr. You could go watch anyone else, really. There's a lot of players who are streaming their POVs at the current moment about this. I do believe Sophie on Ice... No, she is not. Never mind. Thought she was in here. No. It's Sophie and Sophie on Ice are two different people. My bad.
It's all good, it's all good. As it seems like we are changing maps right now to Playback. Would you care to explain the map to us?
Playback by Nats. So this is a map made by the Chilean who came in 7th last year around. We will see what this map can bring all the players. This map is the only map where Carl Jr. does not have WR, which is, well, maybe something that he'll want to rectify today or maybe possibly tomorrow. We will see, though. Right now, Carl Jr. is on server 1, so for anyone, I don't know if anyone else is casting, I doubt it, but there are obviously players who are streaming. Let me tell you who's actually on server 1 while we wait here. Playback awaits those players as well. Carl Jr., Radiaxo, Tubes, Nats, so very big names there. You also have Waif. Lingo should have been there, but he's out of the tournament, sadly. He DNS's. Does not even start. Plenty of South Americans as well, in Jorho, Rookie, and Tenchi Lil.
Yes, okay. Now, we have 20 seconds to the next map begins. Nats with an incredible thing called Playback as we get into the next round. Now, if we quickly talk about points, we can see that Fegley is in first place for 170. Yuma has 155 with quite a considerable gap to 105 from Charles. It seems like this is going to be a two-man race right now. With only 20 points between them. No, even 15. Do you want to take the first round?
Top 8 gets you into the next round, right? So all you need is top 8. Fegley, Yuma, Charles, and Say seem pretty safe already, right? But you never know, right? Never say never. As Monero, Santa Turtle, Pope Francis, and Wakio are in at the current moment. B-Rent is on the bubble. He's in 9th. Mr. Funny and Gel B are 10th and 11th. So maybe we'll see some upsets. Maybe Mr. Funny and Gelby have a better time here on Playback compared to Deimos. We shall see as the map is currently underway. There are plenty of players currently on the front, and I have none of them on my hotkey bar, which is very, very nice. I'm Charles has crashed out. Fegley's in the lead. Yuma's in second. As Monero in third. Wakio actually overtakes him, heading into the finish. The bounce. Wakio gets in. As Monero gets fourth. Say gets fifth. Pope Francis gets sixth. Jelby gets seventh. And Santa Turtle gets eighth. Getting first place gives you 35 points. That's a lot, right? So getting only 5 rounds per map, winning just 2 to 3 rounds practically ensures they have more points than everyone else, pretty much.
Yes, I would agree with that. As we get on to the next round here, I want to start taking a look at the people between 8th, 9th, 7th, the people that are trying to fight to stay in. If you're first or second, you're relaxing right now. You're just saying, keep to what I'm doing, keep relaxing. This is people like Fegley, Yuma, Child, even Pope, who are the top 4 right now, just relaxing. But down under, who's there? We have people like Say 892, who we're not so sure as they're a little bit behind the pack right now, but seem to be keeping a decent pace behind these players. As right now, Say is in 4th place. Charles does do a little bit of a mistake, which could mean that he can catch up. It's looking like Say will, maybe, as Yuma and Fegley are 5 for first place. Say does have a person on this tail, but seems like he has an incredible line. So he gets in front of Charles right now. As he does this, he gets through. It goes Yuma, Fegley, Say, Waco, and Charles. Wait,
Wakio sniped Charles as well. Oh wow, Wakio nearly sniped Say as well. Look at that round. from Fegley all the way down to Charles, second to fifth. That was less than 1/10 of a second separating them. 100 milliseconds, that's barely anything.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
wow. And
Okay.
you love to see it. This map has so much mixed, right? You have a nice dirt part here. You have a bit of poolside action. You have some regular tarmac. And then you have that little ice section where you do a little half slide onto a bug into into a booster that's on half side. It's so weird. It's so fun to see how creative this map is. And there's a checkpoint right in the middle of it. So all of that, I like this map. I like it a lot. A lot of players have said that this is one of the most creative maps as well.
Yeah, especially with map design.
Ooh, Fegley fighting. Oh no, that's not a finish. I'm Charles gets third. Asmonero gets second. And was that Yuma? Yeah, that was Yuma who crashed the finish. He'll get 8th, but at least he will finish and get some points.
This puts Fegley in the lead by quite a margin right now. He's almost 50 points ahead of everyone right now. Fegley, is he going to keep this lead? Is he going to keep ahead of everyone? Is he going to show that he's the leader of the 3rd seed right now? As we go into the next round. This dirt turn, everyone seems to be getting it quite nice as they go into the transitional part to a water slide into dirt. With this map, there seems to be a lot of sliding, waving, going around all over the place as we go into the next turn. Yuma and Fegley seem to always consistently be inside of each other. They always keep staying as close together as possible, with people like I'm Charles and Azumanero right behind them. As you get on to the next thing, I would like to call this the identity of this map, I would say, with the ice turn. You know, one of the best things about Team GL is their identities, I would say. As Fegley and Yuma go into the next corner, with Say just behind them. Say is actually slowly catching up to these two. As Fegley gets first, Yuma second, with Say in third. Looking like Say is coming to be of a comeback, as going from 6th place to 3rd.
Yeah, and he's even caught up to Charles, I should say, right? That's not proper English. What am I talking about? Stupid Frenchie, can't even speak in English. As yeah, Say is in 3rd now, far ahead of Charles, right? 14 points doesn't sound like a lot, but it is a lot in the grand scheme of things. Asmonero also really close to Charles, so this map really isn't Charles's map. He has shown speed as we're on to the last round of this map. Obviously, we have 3 more maps afterwards and 15 more rounds after this one. Oh, Pope Francis is fully out though. Sucks for him. Fegley has a big lead, and if you can look on the right side, you'll see 1st to 8th place. Everyone is relatively close, right? Especially 4th down to 8th can be anyone, but 9th place B-Rent, he's got a lot to do to catch up to Santa Turtle and Pope Francis and Waikyo, who are pretty much 4 points away from each other, as Yuma and Fegley once again inside of each other into the finish. And Asmonero will get 5th. I'm Charles gets 2nd as, ooh, he sniped Fegley. Fegley will get 3rd. Say will get 4th. Asmonero will get 5th. And that's the end of playback. So very well done so far from all 11 players who are here. A lot of players have not shown up, sadly, or have not decided to partake in the proceedings. Let's give a big RIP to Ski Freak, Takeo, Joby Game, Keenax, and Sophie. Big RIP.
Big rip to these players. As we get on to our next one, by one of these players, Ski Freak, maybe he thought that he was one of the people to make one of the maps, so he thought it may be a bit cheating to compete in this. But in this lobby right now, you have to remember top 8 get through. If I was B-Rent Gelb or Mr. Funny Fun, I would be scared right now. They seem to be quite far behind the pack right now, as they seem to be about 60 points behind. What would you do in their situation right now?
You know what? If I were to participate in this tournament, I would probably be in the back there as well, right? I'm just there to have fun, right? And if I'm Mr. Funny Fun, what I would be doing right now is having fun. I'd be having the time of my life trying to catch up with these guys. I'd be playing with ghosts on, trying to see if I could beat any of the guys while trying not to crash, right? While trying to have a clean lap. A lot of players, right? They're not the best players. Some casual players are here trying to play, right? Because they want to have fun. Because these maps are great, because they want to play next to their idols, next to the players who have given them the motivation to play this game and, well, these maps.
Well, that's what they're here for. They're here for everybody to enjoy, but for the best to master them is what some are here for as well. Really does everything you want. And with this map, it has quite an interesting ending and just an overall look on this map. It has this sort of sky feel to it, which I really enjoy. Really goes with the name, Ski Freak, I would have to say.
Definitely does, and this just feels like a Ski Free map, as well as Nickel, who did help out with this map. Sky Cloud Expanse is underway, ladies and gentlemen. 15 rounds left to go, and right now Fegley in the lead. Yuma is in second, Charles is in third, as well, pretty much has been commonplace so far this entire tournament.
Yeah, I would completely agree with that right now. It seems like these players at the front right now are the ones to look out for. Pope Francis, Say, Charles, Fegley, and Yuma. These seem to be the players that are trying to win this all. As we saw, Say have a small of a bonk there, but he has a big enough lead, as Pope Francis as well has a bonk. It seems to be absolute shambles as I talk about them. It's the caster curse, what can I say? Every caster has it. As you go slightly in the background to people like Say and Monero, we've had a little bit of a rough time in this map as Santa Turtle and Waco are near them, as they all seem to nicely get into the finish. Is there an overtake by Monero? Seems like he barely bonks. Seems like this map is not for him right now. Hopefully he can make it up next time.
Oh man, this map is really hard to get just right. It's really difficult to... Oh, Fegley is angry at that bonk. Honestly, just everyone having fun, and I can see it, right? Everyone's taking this lightheartedly. No one's really sweating, right? Fegley and Yuma are doing their lines, right? Say and I'm Charles trying their best to survive, right? And at the same time show off that they're strong enough to really, maybe even get top 8, right? They could possibly get top 8 today and come back tomorrow to play instead of sit on the sidelines and be amazed at how fast the others are. Maybe they could be one of those others that the players look at. As Monero, Wakio, Santa Turtle, and Pope Francis are all playing to the best of their abilities as well, and I would think no one's leaving anything on the table. As Charles, he's behind Yuma and Fegley. Fegley's in the lead. He will come in first. Yuma in second. Charles in third. Wakio in fourth. B-Rent in fifth. B-Rent, he's catching up. He's been able to finish a few rounds here, and he might actually go for an overtake here on Pope Francis / Santa Turtle / Wakio. Depends who's going to be in last by the time he catches up, if he can, because during the last 2 rounds, he's gotten a lot of points. And, well, he was behind by nearly 100. He's now only behind by 25, 27. There you go, I can count.
Oh, beautiful maths, beautiful maths. Yeah, I want to say the same for Waco as well. Waco seems to have really stepped it up here. You seem to see him right in the front of the pack, but still, Fegley and Yuma seem to be a league above everyone else right now. It's like they put in the extra hours, put in the extra work to be here. I'm Charles and Pope still trying to do it. Pope seems to be getting this corner perfect this time. A few times he's bonked it, but seems to be going well this time. As Yuma and Fegley are still fighting for first place. These two just consistently are fighting between each other. It feels like a 2-horse race right now, with I'm Charles barely keeping on with them from the sidelines. It seems like B-Red is making a few mistakes in the back line right now, but it's all between Yuma and Fegley to see who takes first here. It doesn't matter too much who does take first, but it always does feel good to say that you're beating your opponent with a photo finish, with Yuma coming barely in front by less than 0.02. Incredible round for both of them.
Of course, Yuma wants to come in first, right, over Fegley, and Fegley wants to come first in front of Yuma, right? Both of them fought to the bitter end during last year's TAO, right? Because they were 3rd and 4th respectively. So I do think that these two want to one up each other, obviously, right? They're in the same first server. Of course they're gonna try and beat each other, right? Because that's pretty much their goal. Oh, Yuma's probably saying, oh, he beat me last time, I'm gonna make sure I beat him this time, right? And a bunch of other players have the same kind of vendettas, right? A lot of players, let's say Tubes, right? Nats finished behind Tubes last year. Well, Nats might want to finish ahead of Tubes this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But as we look into the backside of this, we could see the Santa Turtle and B-Rent are 40 points away from each other. And that is probably the place we have to look closest to. It's only 40 points between getting into the next round and, you know, going home and just watching the rest of it. And I don't think any of these players want to be there if you're this close to getting there. It seems like our first and second are definitely going to, you know, be Fegley and Newman, unless there's a catastrophic ending. So it's really taking a look at these bottom places to see who gets through.
That would be incredible. Say is not as fast on this map, so Charles has taken a bigger lead than at the end of a playback, but SkyCloud Expanse, I mean, it's been the death of many players so far because a lot of them are just unable to finish. The risky finish at the end, very, very tough to pull off.
Even I had troubles with it, and I'm just a casual Trackmania player, so you can definitely tell how much better these players are than people like us. But I have to say, Fegley and Yuma, they are just not stopping. It has been so long since I've seen them come anywhere except for first and second. You just see their lines compared to everyone else. Just the speed, the precision these players have. I don't even want to know how many hours they spent trying to practice this map. Practice all the maps so far for the Trackmania American Open. Now, I have an important question for you.
Yes.
Do you think these players can keep up with Carl Jr.? This is what we're all thinking.
Fegley and Yuma, I'm sure they could. They are relatively close, especially in terms of PBs, right? You have a good head on your shoulders, right? If you are both Fegley and Yuma. Fegley's less than a tenth behind Carl on this map, right? So that'll tell you that he's pretty close. But Carl Jr. still has the top time. When it comes to playback, Fegley has world record on it still, right? And that's... Or Tankrom, sorry, has world record on it. Fegley is in third. Fegley's third on every map, I do believe, actually. So he's pretty strong, right? You can't say anything bad about Fegley. And Yuma, I mean, maybe he practiced a little bit less, but clearly he's just as fast as Fegley has been. So maybe his top times aren't as fast, but his pace is just as fast. Yeah.
People's pace have slowly been getting faster as they seem to be getting warmed up for these games. As we get into our next map, how do we say this? Trachiatella?
This took me about 10 minutes to make sure I had it right when I was recording that little video I was talking about. Stracciatella. By Deska. Yeah, this... So... The way I went about it, right? Obviously, when you want to record stuff, obviously, and you want to do it in one take, you got to learn the word, right? And when it's a word like this, you have to look at every little syllable and go Stracciatella, right? That's how I just went about it. And so put it together, you say it fast, it goes Stracciatella.
You really taught a British man a new word. Do you know what it means?
I have no idea, no clue. It's by the Polish man Deska, so it might be similar to that Polish word. I don't know if you remember that one that made its rounds last year, the funny Polish meme word.
No, I'm not too sure. But I do know that this is most likely my favorite map. Now, the reason I like this map so much is there are so many different routes you can go. There's so many different places where if you make a small nick or if you don't get the right gear or the right line, you won't actually have enough speed to take the difficult lines in this. There's one where there's a massive high jump, or you can go to the left, and I'll show you this round what I mean by this. As they go up to the first turn, it's nice, well done by buddy, and right there, that is the place which I'm talking about. If you do not have enough speed there, you have to do a massive jump, losing so much time. It's looking like all the players seem to be correct with this, as Fegley and Newman just consistently just understand these maps to a key. It's not even close to anyone else with them, as Pope Francis is in third with Arm Charles slowly taking over with Say. It seems like these three are really trying to get it, as Pope Francis bonks out. Azum Nero is slightly behind him, taking his place with Wayho trying to get in. We seem to have Yuma and Fegley still in front as they go to the dirt turn. Charles and Say seem to be fine, as Azumanero also goes for the bonk. Fegley and Yuma are fighting. Fegley comes first, Yuma in second, Charles in third, Say in fourth. Good round. Santa Turtle in sixth with B-Rent in seven. Those two are fighting for this 8th and 9th place.
Interesting. So there's a lot of different words that Stracciatella means. There's Stracciatella cheese, right, which is an Italian cheese. Apparently, in Germany, it's a chocolate chip ice cream. It's some sort of soup. Stracciatella pretty much means food, I guess.
Food.
Food. It's some kind of food, right? Because it's such a wide array of different kind of food. So I guess why is this map not just like different foods, right? Like donuts and just ice cream balls, you know? That would have been smart. Deska, use your brain a bit. No, I'm kidding. This map already looks lovely. that would have been going far beyond and beyond, far and beyond what we would have asked, as someone clips out there, which allows Pope Francis to go into 4th place. Fegley is in 1st, Wakio is now in 3rd, as Pope Francis makes a mistake. Yuma is still in 2nd. As Monero now in 4th, and as we head into the risky finish, Yuma and Fegley won't make a mistake, but as Monero will, as B-Rent gets himself 4th. That's good for his comeback story. Santa Turtle gets 7th, so he'll fend off just a little bit. Pope Francis doesn't finish though, and so he'll set at 245, allowing B-Rent to come in within 40 points.
There seems to be a lot of bonking going on in the last round. About 4 to 5 different players seem to have had a few issues on this map. Maybe some of the players think this is the hardest one, or maybe they just got quite unlucky, but there seem to be a lot of tight turns here, as I talked about before. If you don't get the right line here, you won't get the correct speed, as Santa Turtle barely makes enough there. These players are good enough to consistently get this, but with a few people in the middle pack to lower pack, do they have the consistency needed? Because they may be able to keep up with Fegley and Yuma at some point, but all the time we are not too sure yet, as I'm Charles is slowly keeping up with him, as Santa Turtle barely gets bonked. It looks like Fegley has quite a big lead, which we don't see often right now, as Yuma seems to be fighting with everyone else. Pope Francis is with him right now. Yuma's barely trying to keep his 2nd place. He's not letting Fegley get away. He doesn't want him to get more than just 1 place in front of him, as Charles is contested for him right now. Who's going to get it? Fegley gets 1st, Yuma in 2nd, with I'm Charles barely behind him with 0.1. Charles could have really done something here for Fegley, keeping him even bigger lead. But Yuma did it. He kept close to him with only 40 points between them.
Now, I do want to say, I don't know if you noticed this, there's 2 rounds left, and B-Rent again finishes in 4th. He's got himself a slight pace on this map, it seems, that he's got a little bit more pace on this map. Let's see what his times were. If I look over at B-Rent, let's see, B-Rent on this map, yeah, it was his fastest, no, it was not his fastest map. Huh? That's weird. It wasn't his fastest map, but it's a map that he seems to be struggling less on than the others, so hopefully that can translate into him getting into 8th, because getting top 8 ultimately is the goal, right? And right now he's on that bubble, as I said earlier. But Pope Francis, he's in 4th. If he doesn't bonk, he will be good and golden. Fegley in 1st, Yuma in 2nd, and I'm Charles is in 3rd. Yuma clips it to the wall, which allows Charles back into the fray. He'll go for the overtake. Heading into the ending here, Yuma can't get into 2nd place. That's Charles who gets 3rd, Say gets 4th, Pope Francis gets 5th, Wakio gets 6th, Santa Turtle gets 7th, and B-Rent gets 8th. Joby and Mr. Funny, I mean, funny fun, it's in his name, right? He's just there for some funny fun.
You cursed him. You cursed B-Rent, man. He was doing perfectly fine. He was doing well, and then you made him bonk.
But
what can I say?
What if Pope Francis to stay into the match, right? What if I don't want to be eliminated?
What is it? Because he's Canadian.
I gotta sacrifice one lamb to save my other lamb, man.
Oh, I understand. You wanna bring out the best of each other. You want them to fight for it. You want this man to come back from glory and take it all. I can see how you work, man, but I'm not sure if it's going to happen. Pope Francis, is he going to, take your inspiration in good gear? It seems like he is right now, just barely behind Fegley and Yuma, as he's trying to fight to actually keep up with him. He's not that far behind. This is the closest I've seen people actually come to Yuma or Fegley on this map. He seems to be consistently 3rd, 4th, around the top. Maybe you have a Canadian that can keep up with him. But I'm Charles is barely behind him. But no, Pope Francis barely bonks. It's okay. You've got more Canadians to come. Fegley, Newman, then I'm Charles in 3rd, Say in 4th, Waker in 5th, B-Rent in 6th, and Santa Turtle in 7th. B-Rent beats Santa Turtle. If we quickly take a look at the points, what can we see? B-Rent is barely behind, 40 points left. Is there one more map left?
Finished that round too. 10 out of the 11 players finished that round. I think that's one of the first times that's happened. So that's really, really good to see, as we're onto the last map now. So we had Straxiatella, we had ourselves Skycloud Expanse, we had ourselves Deimos, Playback, and now we got Winding Path. We've got ourselves a great map here. This is my favorite, to be fair, by Nexotica. Winding Path by Nexotica, probably my favorite map.
Now, can we talk about, do you think B-Rent can do it? Do you think that this man can do it?
Depends how good he is on this map, right? How good is he on that ice start? Because I know Francis, is actually pretty decent on it, and so it's gonna come down to either himself or Santa Turtle making a mess in the bed, let's say, right? And B-Rent doing quite well for himself.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you have 3 options here to pick from. Who cares about first or second place? They're through, right? How these players have been playing, these people can contest Carl Jr. We know this. We're going to see if they can do this. But can B-Rent catch up with Pope Francis or Santa Turtle? This is the fight we're trying to watch here. So get your little flags out. Who you voted for? You voting for B-Rent, Pope Francis, or Santa Turtle? All 3 of these names clearly deserve to be here, but which one won't make it?
Yeah, maybe that's why he's been bonking and crashing, because Pope Francis has been looking at the stream. No wonder. Oh no, poor Francis. Maybe he should turn off the stream. Maybe he should be more concentrating on his driving and less concentrating on my wonderful, wonderful voice. And obviously yours, right? You have a wonderful voice, even though it's British.
Oh, what is that meant to mean? What can I say? Hey, I have to go against Pope Francis now if he's talking so good about you. Now, as we get into the first lane, B-Rent seems to be slightly behind the pack here, which is very important. You want to have a good start. He seems to get incredible speed as he goes through. It seems like no one that he needs to beat is in front of him right now. It seems like everybody's behind him that he needs to beat. It's looking like for B-Rent, this is good. He needs to try and catch up a few more places, get a few more points into this. The higher up you are, the more points you get, the classic way of tournament work. Is he going to try and beat anyone? As Yuma barely comes through. Surprisingly, Yuma wasn't near the front, as there was a bonk right at the end, and B-Rent barely beats Pope Francis and Santa Turtle. This man has a chance to catch up.
He does. B-Rent is doing pretty good right now. I mean, again, Caster's Curse. Do you want him in? Do you want him out? I mean, that's all. I hate this risky fin. I mean, a lot of players say that this map is the bane of their existence, right? The ice start, and then you go into the dirt slide right afterwards, which I absolutely love, right? But a lot of players don't. The risky finish is pretty hard as well. There's a lot of, not tight turns, but you gotta get really close to the wall on most of these, whether you're going inside or outside. A lot of ledges you can clip off of, as I do believe that was Pope Francis very nicely shows us, as Wakio and Asmanera fighting for the last podium position. Jelby also fighting back there, so maybe he can finish this map. Asmanera will crash out. Fegley and... Ooh, that's Fegley who's crashed out. So Charles and Yuma are fighting up at the front. It's not Fegley who's there. He's got to fight back, and I mean, all he's going to get is 4th place. B-Ren gets 5th. Asmanero gets 7th. Jelby gets 8th. Can everyone finish? Did everyone finish?
Quantum, you missed out something important. Guess who bonked? The man.
Turtle.
Yes, and the other one, the man, the myth, the legend, Pope Francis. Do you know what this means? B-Ren went from one of the slowest in the pack there to one in front. If we quickly take a look at this, he is less than 20 points behind Santa Turtle and Pope Francis. This is really incredible. And also with this
3
map,
rounds to go.
It seems like this map, a lot of people are bonking. Even the top ones like Fegley and Yuma seem to not consistently be at the front right now. As say I'm Childs and all that are near the front right now. Now, if we quickly pay attention to Pope Francis, this man, he cannot make too many mistakes. He sees B-Rent in front of him. He sees where he wants to be. But can he catch up? You have the dirt lines. Stay as close to the wall as possible. Is he going to risk it? It seems like he goes through a safer line. He doesn't want to risk anything, as he seems to be not too far behind, but he does need more pace here. Or does he believe the Santa Turtle won't beat him right now? Does he believe that if he just keeps safe, Santa Turtle will be the one to go out and him and B-Ren can get through? As he barely gets in. So close. Where's Santa Turtle? Santa Turtle, did he make it? Seems like he barely
Everyone actually finished. B-Rent got last, though.
Oh, this is close. Look at that. Look at how close these points are, Quantum. As you go through the next round.
18 and 22 points. Oh, man.
Absolutely incredible. Santa Turtle seems to just not understand this front thing. Santa Turtle must be so scared right now for his place. He seems to do well after the first turn with his Pokemon car, but it depends. Can he catch up here from behind? He's trying to take over people like Mr. Fun, Say892 and Gale, but he's just so far behind, I'm not sure if he can really catch up. He's really fighting for his life right now, as there's only a few more rounds to go. Only a few more rounds to, prove that he can do this. He's got a credible good line on this dirt, but no, he barely overdrifts there, making it so it's slightly hard. B-Rent crashed. This is the chance for Santa Turtle to take over. Is he going to take over and not allow B-Rent to take his place? His place in the top 32. As he goes for the jump, is he going to snipe Gelb? It looks like he is. He goes for the safe finisher. No. Gelb barely takes him over, sneaking 2 points away from him.
Oh no, B-Rent didn't get any points. He'll fall down behind. He is now 32 points behind Santa Turtle. You know what this means. He needs to actually win this round. And for Santa Turtle to not finish. That is what is at stake here for B-Rent. With that DNF, he needs to not only win this round, but hope that Santa Turtle himself doesn't finish. There's a lot here that can go extremely wrong. And with B-Rent on the lead, with Yuma, Fegley, and Charles, as Monero is there with Say, who just crashed out. It's a big, oh yeah, Santa Turtle. He does not seem to be able to finish, so he's way too far behind, as Monero has crashed as well, but B-Rent is way too far behind. He's not going to be catching up to these guys anytime soon. Fegley, Yuma, Charles, and Monero would all need to crash into this big finish here. Yuma will get first, Charles gets second, Fegley gets third, as Monero can't finish. B-Rent does get fourth, but it's not going to be enough.
That was such a hard map for everyone there, as we have a winner of the C bracket. Yuma has won it. No, sorry, let me say that again. Fegley has won it. Yuma in second, Charles in third, Say in fourth, Waco in fifth, Monero in sixth. What a round from these players. What a tournament so far we've had. We've had a few people at the front like Fegley and Yuma who can compete with the best. I will say that again. There is a chance in this tournament that Carl Jr. doesn't come first. You may not believe me yet, but we can do this. And we have a few players who have a fight for this 8th place. These players may not be able to contest at the top, but that does not mean these players aren't here to prove something. These players can get to top 16, get through the 32 round. These players will be known. The names will be put up saying maybe these players next round could do it. This is what I'm excited for. This is what the Trackmania American Open is for.
I do completely agree, and honestly, I'm just so surprised at how close that was. There are a lot of good players here. A lot of players have shown up and have practiced these maps amazingly well. Let's see where the other players stack. Ooh, none of the matches are actually finished just yet. So we are still waiting for the other matches to finish. I do believe server 3 was the one to finish first. So the other matches are still ongoing. So Carl Jr.'s match is still ongoing, despite the fact that he's probably got more points than everyone else combined on our server. Yeah, I can see that right now. Carl Jr., Tubes, Nats are really good right now. Waif and Rookie are fighting for those last positions in server 1.
Yes.
Oh, that is it. Who won? Rookie's in, Waif is out. So Rookie, Scotty Pio, Joro, Mitch, Radiaxo, Nats, Tubes, and Carl Jr. are through from server 1.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, how long is it till our next event, if you do know, Mr. Quantum?
Well, it should be relatively soon, but we'll take a small break, like a 10-minute break, set everything up, and by, I'd say by the top of the hour, we should be good enough to go for round number 2, the round of 32.
Yes, it does seem. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We will be back in around 10 minutes. We will see you then.